Everybody in the galaxy. Welcome back to planet Earth. It's Monosynth Monday, and this is a very special Monosynth Monday indeed. I'm going to start things off with a little bit of an intro. It's not quite a song. This is the intro to my album, Realm 1. I did this back in 2004, and I promise to you, I'm not a dinosaur.
I woke up today, 300,000 years in the future. I have discovered a new way to think, and I call this
How's everybody doing out there? I hope you had a great week and weekend. It's time to kick off a new one. Ooh, what do I got here for you today? Well, I'll show you. Got a couple of BASSLINE synthesizers. You know the drill. We got the TB-303. Whoa, don't mistake that one for this one. Yeah, we do have actually a TB-03 and a TD-3. That's a lot of threes, if you please. We're gonna do a good old comparison. I know there's about 1,000 of them on the internet, but this is gonna be the Electric Archaic comparison. So hopefully we have a lot of fun here today. That's the point of this, isn't it? What you're hearing in the background right now is Tiger Sky, and I think that we can make some of these crazy BASSLINE synthesizers scream like a wild tiger. How's everybody doing in the chat? We got Kiara in the chat, of course. We got JJ Huggins in the chat. We got Hen in the chat. We got Master Tiger in the chat. I see you, Tiger. We got Gonzin in the chat. We got Kenneth in the chat. It's a BASSLINE chat. Welcome back, everyone. Let's make some 303 magic today. Woo! Alles gut. What should we start with? Well, I think I want to... Let's do a little bit of a... Can we do a little bit of a guessing game here? You know what I got? I got all the major players here. The TB-03 by Roland, the TD-3 by Behringer, and the original, the Wild Tiger itself, the TB-303. It's my absolute favorite machine, as you may have guessed from that little intro I played you. That was a long time ago, and I was obsessed with it back then, and yeah, that's why I have one. And that's why I have all these other ones as well. Let's do a little guessing game here, huh? Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes. Let's see what you guys can come up with. I'm gonna play each one of these. We'll do a 1 and a 2 and a 3. And you can put your guess in the chat room of which order you think they're going down. I'm so excited. Yeah, so it's I got a bit of a new addition here. It's the TB-03. So it calls for a celebration and a comparison video. Let me get these tracks unmuted. There's quite a bit of noise here when you're dealing with the vintage 303. You know all about it, don't you? If you've been following my channel on previous episodes of Monosynth Monday, you'll know. The noisy one, it's the original one. Okay, let's do it. We're gonna do a 1, a 2, a 3. They all got the same pattern, and they all have the knobs in the same position. They all sound very different, but they all sound very good. Let's see here. What order should I do this in? Get your minds ready. Do the think with me. Let's play one here. That's number 1. Number 2. can you identify which bassline is which? Now this is the third one here. Cast your votes in the chat, my people. Only I know which order they really are in. Maybe you could tell based off of my arms. I don't know. Do you know? Do you know? Camera 1, camera 2, camera who? I'll give you a little bit of a second there to put your guesses in the chat room. This is a serious business when it comes to the 303 acid sound. We got Hen in the chat saying that the second one was the 303. We got Kiara in the chat saying the first one was the 303. Oh no, who's battling it? Well, this is the Attack of the Clones. Look at them. They're so beautiful in silver. And they sound good too. Okay. We got Hen in the chat saying the first one was the 03. All right, cast your votes. Cast your votes. We got to get on with the show. I want to do I really want to just do the best I can to really figure out what I think the differences are, or at least the differences that matter will be with the 303. We got Gonzin in the chat saying, hard to tell on the TV sound. Okay. Let's see. We got Master Tiger. Number 1, 303. 2, Behringer. 3, the Roland. I'll go ahead and tell you. Unless you got one more vote, I'll give you 3 seconds to cast your vote. 3, 2, 1. And that's it. Indeed. Hen, you are some kind of very intuitive cosmic creature of some sorts. I think Hen got all of them right. Indeed. The first one was the TB-03. That's a digital TB-0303 clone. 030303. That's a lot of threes today. Okay, Hen got that one right. That was number 1. The second one was, of course, the TB-303, and got that one right also, which means that, yeah, Hen got the third one right. The last one was the TD-3. How did you do that, Hen? Oh my gosh, what? Did you get... Is there a spy cam in here? Whoa, I better pull out my tricorder. Actually, the only tricorder I care about is a 303. I'm so excited to be here. Okay, so let me just show you once again how it went down. I'll prove it to you. Makes me wonder if Hen has a good old stash of bassline synthesizers. We got Kiara in the chat asking if we can try again. Maybe we'll try again in a little bit. I'll put on a different pattern and I'll change the knobs around. But I want to show you what I was doing with those knobs for those of you guys who love this sort of thing like I do. So I had the accent all the way up, although there is no accent on this pattern. Had the decay all the way up. The envelope was halfway up. Resonance all the way up, and the cutoff was starting all the way down. And of course, I did a sweep. So something to note here, and I got this all set up last night. Yeah, I did my homework, and we're in for a lot of fun. So what did I do? Oh, here it is. I remember. I took the 303 tuning knob and I just put it on the floor like it usually does. Then we don't have to worry about it. And then with the other two, with the clones, I just tuned them up to match that. So I'm not going to touch those, but they're not on the floor. I think the 03 goes a lot lower, and the TD-3 goes a little bit lower. So that's how I got them all. That's how I got them all tuned up. Originally, I was thinking I would use the 03, this one, and it has a center detent on the potentiometer there, so that locks the knob right in place in the middle point. I was thinking I would just put it there, but then you know what? I like to make it go as low as it can go, especially when you're talking about that screaming wild tiger sound. So this will be a little bit of a juggling act. I got 3 synths here, but what I'll do is we'll flip over to pattern 2, and we're in pattern bank 2. We'll see if my brain can handle this. This is a lot to think about. Okay, let's hear pattern 2. Ooh. I'm not going to make you guys guess again. Let's hear it, though. Let's hear the real number 1. That's this one, of course. All right, that's number 1 in my book. This will be the thing, is how do I decide which one comes second here? That's a very difficult choice indeed, because you have the Roland TB-03. It's not a reissue of the TB-303. That's a lot of numbers that are all the same. Anyways, whew. The TB-03, you must know, is a digital synthesizer. So it's essentially a VST in a pretty box. The Behringer, on the other hand, is analog, like the original, but it doesn't have the Roland, the fancy-dancy Roland name, and it does look a little bit different because I think Roland wasn't too happy about Behringer copying. Well, I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a synth runner. Let's hear the 03 here really quick. That's the 03. It's sounding very squelchy. We got Gonzin in the chat saying the 303, the TB. Where was that thing you said in the chat? You said something. Maybe I misread it, or the timeline shifted on me. I thought you said that the 303 sounded like a Behringer. Where did that go? Anyways, not to get too caught up in all of that. What Gonzin actually said, I think we just had a timeline shift. Let's go into the highest timeline. Ooh, yeah, that sounds good. Gonzin saying the TB-03 maybe sounds a bit brighter. They sound different. I can't. That's what I'm just here for ya. I'm going to do my scientific best to let it slide. No, I'm just kidding. But we are gonna have we get some slides. That's my favorite part of the 303 sequencer is the slide, because I fancy myself a dodgy scientist. They all sound very different, and the TB-303 should sound unique to every other bassline synthesizer on the planet because of its age, because of how it was stored and treated. It's over 40 years old. So I'll let you hear that. Oh boy. Yeah, it was very strange last night. I was making these patterns, making all the same patterns on all 3 machines, listening to them, and it's hard. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. They all sound really good, and they all sound, I think, really different. I've watched a fair amount of comparison videos on YouTube, and people get them to sound pretty close, and there are some aspects of both of these that sound close to the original, but basically, to spoil the whole show, they're all very different, and they all have very different prices, too. That's usually something people talk about. Okay, let's hear the TD-3. I just think that right there. Sorry. I just think that right there is the TD-3 sound. And that may be the reason why I bought a TB-303, because it has a bit more, is it grit? It's like it's a bit, it's not as, I don't know. I'll just say it again. I'll spoil the show again. The TB-303, it has all the mojo. It really does. It's got all the mojo. Listen to how fat and funky that is. Here, let's put the TD-3 against that real quick again. I gotta drop the resonance. It gets pretty hefty down there in the low end. Now I am running these all through the same distortion on the same track. And whew, that was a lot of excitement. So I got a couple more patterns here, but I was thinking maybe we'd do a little bit of a crazy jam here with all three of the 303s. I pulled out a beat from one of these upcoming songs that Kiera and I have done. It's called Dialing You Up, and we're definitely dialing up some 303 cutoff knobs, I think. So let me get the TD-3. You got to keep track of all these things. They're definitely not the same. So these two, well, gosh, what am I? The 303 takes DIN sync. I have a stock 303. It's not modified, other than the switch replacement I did a couple weeks back. Okay, so we got to plug the DIN. We got to pop the DIN in, and here's another thing I noticed. Okay, and this this is in my own little freaky world of being a perfectionist and a detail-oriented crazy person. The TB-303 takes the DIN sync as a little acid smiley, okay? So you just look at the smiley and you'll get it. Boom. So we got the DIN. Now on these other ones, the Roland TB-03 takes MIDI, of course, in and out, and it takes it also as an acid smiley. Now this is the strange part. And I don't know why I care about this, but if I care about it, you care about it, right? So let's talk about it. The Behringer TD-3 takes the MIDI as an acid frowny. It's going the other way. Not sure if that matters at all, but it is a fact. It is a fact, my friends. So speaking of the TD-3 and syncing it up, you got to do. I had it running on the internal clock so I could run it, of course. But we gotta hold these two buttons down here and quickly see it. It's about a 3-second thing or less. Quickly change it over to MIDI. See, it was on internal clock. Boom! Now we're going into MIDI, and I have it on the highest here. I feel like that should be the most precise. I have had trouble getting this to really sync up with my Ableton. Via the Roland SBX sync box. SBX 10 is the man behind the curtain. Let's turn it on. Looks like a 909 with a lot less. Okay, so should we just run them all at the same time? I know I'm going to have some problems with the Behringer. It doesn't sync up. The 303 is doing its DIN sync magic with the sync box. It'll be right on, and I imagine the 03 will also be right on. So we might have to restart it a couple times to get the Behringer. Get with the program, Behringer. Okay. We've also been running Sawtooth. I'll switch these all over to Square Tooth. Yeah, it's not much of a tiger if it has square teeth. Yeah, I know. It's square wave. But could you imagine trying to surf a square wave? Maybe in Tetris or Minecraft. Let's see about this Behringer here. Let's see if we can get it to cooperate. Maybe I'll mute the other ones here really quick and we'll do I don't know. Let's just fire in. How about we fire in? Okay. Let's get over to the Ableton view here. I've got to let's get this loop on. on the deck. Okay. Y'all ready for this? Whoa. That's just a bit too much, isn't it? I feel like I got to turn some of these down, so I'll do that. Woo! That's a lot of excitement. Okay. It's a mess. So how about I mute? Let's do this. Let's do a little bit of let's just do a jam with the TD-3. One of our heroes. It is the synthesizer that got me back into making music with hardware. In 2020, was the thing to do is to buy yourself a TD-3 or 2. Let's see here. So I'm going to mute down the TB-303, which you can hear is the loudest. I don't know if y'all can hear that noise. Sometimes I feel like you can hear all of the noise coming out of that old vintage crazy machine, but then you say you can't, and I still talk about it. So you see how it doesn't start right on the downbeat. Let's see. That's not good either. Come on, TD-3. Let's watch ya. Everyone, focus on my TD-3. Let's get it in time. Also not in time. Now, that sounds good. Maybe we'll just keep that. It's definitely not in time. I don't know, guys. So that's part of my comparison, is some of these things that make it a little bit different, a little bit difficult. I suppose not everyone will be using a vintage Roland SBX10 sync box with a Behringer. I could go straight out of the computer with MIDI, but I have a feeling that's not going to make much of a difference, because if we unmute the 03 and we mute the TD-3, I'm trying to get all my names correct. That one just fires right in as you would want it to. What do you think of that? It's a little off. Is this just me, or is it you guys as well? It's sometimes hard to sync up machines to MIDI. Maybe it's the pattern, I don't know. But here's another difference I'll let you know about. The original TB-303, you have to be in play mode, which I should probably do before I forget. I'll flip that over into play mode there. You got to do that in order to switch patterns while you're playing. I'm pretty sure that they fixed that with the 03, so there are some improvements. Yeah, because we are indeed in write mode here. Be a little bit out of sync, and it could be the delay from the computer to the sync box to the 03 there. All right, so one thing you can do with the TD-3 is just, and it's clipping. Kiara in the chat saying that the TD-3 sounds the heaviest. That's because it's clipping. Well, you know, isn't that just a square wave anyway? Nah, we fixed that. Okay, so I unmuted the TD-3 It says it's clipping, but it's over there clipping. I don't know. I don't get it. It's not clipping here. It's not clipping there. Let's turn it down just a little bit more. So you can, with the TD-3, just hit it. But it takes a lot of times, I've realized. See, it's not, I don't know. I don't particularly like that. But my setup is a little bit unique. Oh, you ready? Let's try to get it. It's not in sync. So forget these clones. Bye-bye. Let's get back to our all-star here. And I bet that it's been in sync the whole time. Listen to that. What's the deal? It's the den. We got the den. Here's a little quirk. I guess it has to be off in order to switch the mode. Too bad. We got the 303 in play mode. Let's change that pattern up and make it scream like a wild tiger. Yes. We got Gonzin in the chat asking, you updated the TD-3 firmware lately? No, my friend. I haven't touched that TD-3 since I bought my 303. As I'm sure you could imagine, it makes sense. Well, we did pull it out for Tuesday the 3rd. That was a Tape Tuesday episode we did a couple weeks ago, where we celebrated the TD-3. It's a little joke I have because when I launched my live stream, it was March 3rd, 303 day, and I did the big unveil, and it was a TD-3. And it was trying to tell me Tuesday the 3rd. It was not Tuesday the 3rd, my friends. It was Monday the 3rd. Monosynth Monday. Wild tiger. I don't know what. That's like the sleeping tiger. My 303 is a little bit sleepy right now. It's been up all night with me. Okay, we got it into play mode. Let's jam around with the real deal. Do you know? Sounds a little bit freaky. I think it's because I got multiple machines running there. Once I cleared up the the clones. That 303, I'm really happy with that. It's just always right on point. Is it plastic? In this case, it certainly is. Okay, wow. Woo. That was a lot of excitement. I love it. What do you guys think? What's your favorite bass line synthesizer? It has to be the TB-303, but yeah, not a lot of people can get their hands on one of those machines. So these ones here, they're pretty great. They're pretty great. I feel kind of bad that I can't get the Behringer really synced up, and I'm not exactly sure if the operating system would fix that, although maybe it would. Guess we're going to have to do another comparison next week. I picked up this 03 so that I can have a little bit of a sibling here, a little brother or sister. I haven't figured out what what you guys are. You really are just a cosmic silver box. You know, it's just like the from way out there. But yeah, my 303 needed a little bit of help here, I think. So it'll be fun because nothing sounds better than two 303s dancing together on a 909. Let's check out the 03 just a little bit more because it sounds... what am I going to say? There's some things I like about it. And there's some things I don't like about it. But I guess that's the case with almost everything. So I'm running all these through a saturation in my Ableton over there. They all got the same saturation, and that's the one we played last week, and we kind of... I like it. I like it quite a lot. It's not quite a... it sounds like a bit crusher a little bit. A little bit. Now, this has its own distortion, and it's kind of fun to throw that on in addition to the one I have. It just gets all sorts of mangled up, man. Very nice. Very good. Let's just go for the TD-3 while we got it here. Oh, I got to do this MIDI change up real quick. Switch to the internal clock. Because this also has I guess that's an analog distortion on board. This one has a couple of different distortions that you can dial in. I can't remember which one I have mine on, and I don't feel like menu diving too much. This is a little bit of a menu diver, but it didn't take me too long to kind of get everything the way I wanted it. And of course, I have it on the original sequencer mode. Why would I have it? Why? I didn't even want to know about the upgraded sequencer, but it does have an upgraded sequencer, and I think that it's probably easier I'm sure it's easier to work with, but gosh, guys, after 15 episodes of Monosynth Monday, I feel like I'm a TB-303 sequencer professional. That's going to be my title. Next time I order business cards, it'll just have that on it. The sequence. Okay. So the TD-3, it's got a raspy, gritty sound to it, and I'm not the biggest fan of it, although it sounds pretty great. I've used it in a few tracks, a few of my productions. Like that's my sweet spot right there. Let's hear the distortion on distortion. The more, the merrier. In this case, it might be the more, the hairier. The tiger inside. Well, well, well. That is a comparison. And we got Master Tiger in the chat saying, thanks for the comparisons. This is very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I imagine some of you out there have some of these machines. Although the way Hen guessed the TB-303 spot on makes me think that Hen is hiding a Silver Surfer. Let us know. Let us know in the chat if you are hosting. I feel like a historian. For the longest time, I didn't know whether I wanted to just cover this whole area up to keep it from wearing off. I'm starting to get a little bit of wear and tear here, and I'm not sure if you can exactly see it. But it's happening. One of those notches is gone. One of the little black notches on there is gone, and it's starting to show signs of the plastic underneath it, and it sure sounds plastic. And I can't play it because I got it plugged into the DIN. But what should we do, guys? What should we do? We're done. We did it. We did our comparison. I think we got to make some patterns. It wouldn't be Monosynth Monday without making a couple of patterns. And what we're going to do, we're going to make the same pattern on all three machines as best we can. And so I imagine we'll just fire right in with that. Okay. So then, of course, we're going to do that on the TB-303 first. But if I can do this, I did this a little bit, and it gets a little bit kind of jogs the brain a little bit. It's hard enough making a 303 pattern on its own, but when you're doing it on three machines that are different, that's one thing about the 03, and maybe we'll run into that. It takes when you're making a pattern and you press this high note here, it reprograms it to be that note with an octave up. Another thing that you can do on this machine is go 2 octaves up, and I have not verified if that's the case with the Behringer. It's great, I guess. And if you could do that on a TB-303 this whole time, which I don't think you can, I will be shocked. But you ultimately do it by hitting the octave up twice, and then it blinks instead of holding solid. It also does this little waiting animation here. I've noticed the Roland boutiques like to... it's a screensaver for your LEDs. Maybe you can turn that off. I don't really care. Start the party. We got Dolphin Marlene in the chat. How you doing, Dolphin? What are you guys talking about in the chat? I've kind of been so excited over here. I've been ignoring a little bit of what you're talking about. So we got Master Tiger saying, I think it's the Ableton distortion. What are you referring to? I think it's more important to use it. We can turn the distortion off. Should we do that? And then do a comparison? We got Gonz in the chat saying you can do octave jumps on the TD-3. Well, we'll probably find out because a bassline pattern is no good without some octave ups and some octaves down. I think we will let's terminate the distortion. I might have to mess around with the volumes on these machines a little bit, but let's go clean here. Let's get a little bit naked. Yeah, I'm pushing that saturator really hard. I don't know if you heard it. It was like a step down. And it was quiet. Can you guess? Oh, we'll do another guessing game if you want. Here we are, Kiara. This is your second chance. Can you guess which bassline synthesizer this one is? That's number one, okay? Number two. The knobs are all in different places now, of course. This one will be bassline synthesizer number two. Cast your votes. Can you guess? All right. And this one will be the third. Yeah, we got Hen in the chat saying the background noise is gone. It's a lot of noise. It's the same noisy saturator on all three tracks. All three at once. Oh, wow, that's a lot of noise. Throw your guesses in the chat once again. It's a bit random this time, but those of you who know, you will know. We got Gonzin in the chat saying TB-03, TD-3, and TB-303. I'm not going to spoil it quite yet. Maybe I need some elevator music. That's what I need. I'll just make that for you now. Although I can't. Here we go. We got Hen. Number one, 303. Number two, TD-3. And number 303. That's confusing. That's a lot of numbers. We got Kiara. She's saying Behringer for number one. She's saying 303 on the number 2 slot. And the TD-3. Number 3. Hey, I didn't think about tricking you guys out. You're casting your vote twice for the Behringer. Maybe you meant the TB-03 as the 3rd slot. Okay, well, I'll tell you what it was. It was the Behringer in the 1st slot. And it was a sloppy comparison, but, you know, it gets a little more advanced as we move along, I think. I had the distortion left on there. There were clues. There were clues, my friends. Ooh, I like that. I just love the synth so much. And in all of its forms. Ooh. That's very nice. All right. Okay. The second one. Yeah. It was the 03. Yeah, you did get the Behringer correct, Kiara, for the first try. Let me see if I can... So Hen, you got them all wrong this time, my friend. So maybe it was beginner's luck. And of course, the third one was the best. My favorite. Oh gosh, I can't. So here's something in my brain. I've seen a lot of people just be diehard 303 heads, and everything else is rubbish. I'm not exactly like that. As you can tell, I have the trifecta here. But there is something about the original that just sits right. It just hits right. We even got Kiera in the chat saying that the 303 sounds the best. And that's with no distortion. Just listen to that vintage fuzz. I think that's like a Boss guitar pedal. Oh, okay. Now, I don't know if that pattern exists on the 03, but I would like to see if I can get that sound right there on any of these other ones. See, that might be some of the magic that you can only get from an analog machine, but also a vintage one. Because, you know what they say, the difference between a TD-3 and the difference between a TB-303 is about the same as the difference between a TB-303 and a TB-303. But I like to say, every TD-3 sounds the same. Unfortunately, it's true, they're just too new. Who knew? Okay, let me check out these knobs here on the 303. So we got the accent about there. We got the decay all the way up. We got the envelope mod all the way up. I'm referencing, yeah, the 303, and I'm bringing them over here. Resonance all the way down. Let's do that. Oh, we are getting some fuzz, some serious fuzz, and yeah, you know how to get it. The super fuzz is with no resonance and all the cutoff on the planet. Let's cut it off. Now that's Fuzzmaster Supreme, I think, for the TD-3 anyway, and we're in Sawtooth. Man, it's a lot of things to think about when you're doing a comparison. And we are also in Sawtooth on the 303. So that's the TD-3, and let's hear the 303. Different pattern. I don't know what happened to our other patterns. What pattern bank were we on? Let's try to... Whoa. Yeah, get over into pattern bank 3 on your 303. It reminds me of Tape Tuesday, how we make tape loops. And I say tape 2,000 times every Tuesday. Except for this Tuesday, and that's going to lead me right into, guess what, guys? I'm doing my E's, episode 2, tomorrow, instead of Tape Tuesday, because if some of you noticed, I did a double function, a double feature Tape Tuesday last week. That was a lot of fun. It was so hot. I thought it would be a little bit cooler in the studio later. I was wrong. It's something about, I think that the heat that the sun is imposing onto everything. Once the sun sets, then all that heat just starts coming out. It was hot. Okay, let's get back to business. So to find the same pattern, I think we're on pattern 3 here. Pattern bank 3, pattern 3, and yeah, that one. And it's nothing. What's going on? Oh man, is my 303 on the fritz? What's happening? That's very strange. I thought that it's not the same. I'm so confused. Okay, let's try. Yeah, so where maybe I was in a different pattern bank here. It must be the case. There we go. Yeah, so I did not do that the same. That's strange. One is allowed to make mistakes, right? it's not a perfect comparison. It's not an exact science, so you gotta let it slide, my friends. Although there is not one single slide in this pattern. Let's hop over here to pattern 3. So that fuzz that's going on with the original, we were trying to replicate that with the TD-3 over here. Let's see how it sounds. Pretty good, pretty close. Let's add some filter. Or no, we got plenty of filter. Let's add some resonance. Wow. I've noticed that the TD-3 is a screamer. The filter goes way higher than the other ones, which I don't know why. Maybe the specific 303 that Uli Behringer got, but also the PCBs, and for those of you who don't know what that means, that's a printed circuit board. So that's where all the components are soldered onto with an analog machine. Anyways, with a digital one, it's just like a chip. It's a microprocessor. Anyways, the PCBs are very different. I've opened up a TD-3, and of course I've opened up my 303, and they're not the same shape. They're not the same size. The TD-3 has extra functions. I think that will have some effect on some things. It has to, right? Because the variables are different. What I don't have here today is a Cyclone. What is that? The TT-303. That's a clone that I think does use. Well, is it a clone or replica? It's more of a replica, or is it the RE-303 that's considered a replica? I like that one probably the best, but they're also very expensive because I think they use some of the same components that the 303 used that are no longer available, I guess. I'm still waiting for Roland to reissue the 303. I think that'd be great. So let me refresh your brains here again. We were doing a high resonance screamer on that one. That's the TD-3. Woo! That is way up there. Like almost too far up there. Give it its resonance. This is the 303. Yeah, that's pretty high up there too. And of course, we can't leave out our little digital friend, can we? So let's get the patch going here. For the TB-03, you guys, my brain, it's not that hot here today, but my brain is losing it. That's just too many O's and too many threes. It's like, it would be binary if it wasn't trinary. Try another angle. Okay, let's try this other synth. I have a triangle of 303s. Look, let's see them all. Maybe I can make a tape loop of whatever that sounds like. I haven't checked, but I'm kind of hoping that Halloween lands on a monosynth Monday. I guess I'll have to dress up like a wild tiger, right? Yep, we got Master and the Tiger saying yes. I'll take that yes as a yes. I'll crack myself up. Let's see if we can figure out this digital one a little bit. So what was it? The accent almost all the way up. Probably doesn't matter if this pattern does have accents. Boy, I'm excited about these synthesizers. Yeah, and these are all the way up on there, and yeah, it's just all the way up all the way except for cutoff and in sawtooth mode. Let's do a quick TD. It's a little louder. Let's turn the volume up here. Okay. Digital, analog. It's louder. It's not a fair comparison. It's going to sound better if it's louder, right? I've heard that that's a thing with mixing and mastering. Can be. Ooh, that sounds good. I I just thought I'd play both of them at the same time. Why leave the 303 out of that party? Ooh, I like that. It's crazy. One of them doesn't have the same tempo. It's the 303. I like that. I'm going to record a little bit of that. See, now it's gone wonky. Let's try it again. Okay, that's enough. And what we're left with is the faithful TD-3. Okay, let's do our filter sweep then. All ready? That sounds very different than the rest of them. It is Roland. Come on, Roland, reissue the 303. It doesn't have to be exact. I've heard people say that we just can't get the components. The components are old, and maybe they're talking about integrated circuits, which you might not need. I don't know. Maybe it's the transistors. There's probably some things that definitely they can't get. But if Behringer can do it, you can do it. Put it in a nice 303 shell. Call it the Mark II. You know what to do. Calling you out, Roland. We want an analog 303 with a Roland badge on it. Then we can come back again and do another BASSLINE synthesizer comparison. Oh, that'd be so lovely. Okay, let me know what you want me to do now. I think we're coming up towards the end of the show. I got a couple of songs I want to play you. I got a couple of songs that have some other clones in them. I got a song that's using Rebirth. That is a computer program from the 90s. And I have another song that's pretty freaky. It's using a Future Retro Revolution, and that one sounds pretty good too. Also an analog clone, and I had a picture of it here somewhere. Ooh, I gotta find it. Let's find it. But until then, I'm gonna leave you with some of this squelchiness. Let me go find that picture. Yeah, so this one came first. Future Retro 777. That's a pretty one. I'd like to get one of those. It's got a lot of knobs on it, as you can see. Can you see that? My studio is a little bit freaky, and I like it that way. Here's the Future Retro Revolution. This is, I suppose, the version 2 of this whole thing. I don't know, but I had the one. We got an early model, my dad and I, back in the early 2000s, and this whole thing was supposed to be blacklight reactive, but they had a problem with the paint, and so ours shipped with only the bottom had this glow in the dark, or I guess it was just blacklight reactive. So that would have been really cool. I'm sad they couldn't get that to work out. Maybe I'll play you that song. This is another song, another song from Realm 1, this was an old album of mine, Realm 1. I did it in about 2004. Right on. This one's called, I think it's called Save the Green Man. Save the Green Man by Electric Archaic. Oh, and I should turn off the MIDI sync box so I don't fire off all of these 303s. This has got that Future Retro Revolution. Another 303 clone. You can hear it. It sounds very different. the little green man. Give me a like and subscribe if you're having a good day here on the Electric Archaic radio show. It's not a radio show. Not this one, anyway. It's my 303 show. Okay. So that gives you an idea of the future retro revolution. Oh, that's a really cool... It's a cool synth. It's a cool mono synth. It had a blue lights. You've Got the Blue Light. That's one of my songs. I like that song. There's no 303 in it, though, so we won't be playing it today. Anyways, I get so distracted, and it's so fun. This is cool. It's the revolution because the sequencer went around and around and around. And now it's time for, of course, a rebirth clone. This one's the remix of Digital Bullshit. It's one of my very old songs as well. Around 2004. Not a dinosaur, I'm not a dino. EC4, Electric City. There we go. That rebirth really screams as well. Like a what? Like a wild tiger. Oh yeah. Thank you all for joining me on Mono Synth Monday. That was Propellerhead's rebirth version of the TB-303. Well, it's been a lot of excitement. You know, live streaming is kind of interesting because I find myself saying similar things over and over and over again, but I realize there's people coming and going. It's like a chat room lounge, and you got the usuals camped out. And you know what? I know you guys don't mind. Remember, those of you who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. We got JJ Huggins in the chat saying Beethoven on retro. I gotta do my acid Mozart, and we'll do an acid Beethoven as well. That's not a comparison. Those are two completely different musical machines, if that metaphor works. we got JJ asking, how does future retro sound compared to the others in the show today? Well, I played that song with the Future Retro. I think that it sounds, to me, the Future Retro was very beefy, and it had an extra knob. So you can see on the top here, the Future Retro has the usuals. It's got the tuning knob, let me clear that up just a bit. The tuning knob, the cutoff, the resonance, and all the things that the 303 has, but it had an extra knob, so it's accent, and then they had an accent decay, which, I guess it wouldn't be a Future Retro mono synth without some extra knobs. And these other things over here they had a remix function that was really interesting. So it would take your pattern and it would just, and it sounded a lot like that. It was robotized. And if you caught us on 707 Day, you'll know exactly what I'm referring to on that. It was a robotized sound. And sometimes that's a good sound indeed. But they had a remix function. And I think did it have a built-in distortion? It had some effects, and I imagine that there will be distortion in there. But it had some reverb and echo. And one of the things you could also do is plug in an external audio, and that's what I did. The intro track I played in the very beginning of this episode, where I'm talking about 303 years in the future. I was running my vocals through the Future Retro on that. So a lot of cool stuff out there in the world. Oh man, I love my 303. Maybe I should play you that song. Play us a song, Electric. Yeah, this is to send you guys off. I'll send you with a nice production using a TB-303, my TB-303, which I in fact do love. See, I got this little vintage heart sticker right there. The sticker is just as rare as the machine. This one is by Kiera and Electric Archaic. It's on the forthcoming album, Caught in Candy. Ooh. We get Dolphin in the chat saying, yes, play that song. Here it is. This is I Love My 303 by me and Key. This is where the whole Wild Tiger thing comes from.
I'll tell you this. I love my 303. I love it the most. Got all of that early 80s freakiness. Proto juiciness. Primal. Like a wild tiger. Hungry animal.
What are you gonna do with all that mojo, baby?
You could fill up a warehouse.
Think you could fill up a warehouse? House music. Werewolf house music. Oh man, I'm feeling good today. I hope you're feeling good too. Whoa.
I love my 303. I love it the most. It's my most favorite machine. That early 80s freakiness. Makes you wanna freak out. Go on then. Drop the other shoe. Just freak out with it.
greatest. Undefeated.
Universe is my favorite sound. I know it's your favorite sound too. What do you gotta do with all that mojo? You can fill up a warehouse.
Sugar baby bow. Bouncing, 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 bouncing. Bouncing, bouncing. That was I Love My 303 by Key Era and Electric Archaic. Give me a like and subscribe if you had fun here today. Ooh, it's all about having fun. Yeah. So, before I let you go, I want to let you guys know I'm doing it tomorrow. Ease. Episode 2. That's Ease. Electric Archaic Soundscape Expeditions. Oh boy. It's going to be a bit of an underwater themed vibe. We've been making those tape loops for weeks and weeks and weeks on Tape Tuesday. The link is in the description right here down below. I want you all to go and click that link, hit the like button, and the notify button. We'll see what happens when you do that. That just might help out my channel enough to get to 500 subscribers really quick. Hopefully before the end of July. That'd be great. Because you know what happens when I hit 500 subscribers? That's right. It's Tape Week. Immediately, I'm going live as soon as I get the notification. Bam! Tape Week. And we're going to do some sort of a Tape Tuesday every day for 1 week. And then, of course, we got Master Tiger waiting for Tape Year and for Tape Life. We'll see if we can do it. Master. We got 114 subscribers to go. Oh, baby. Oh, come on, baby. Play a 303. Oh, I love you all, and I love this planet so much. Seriously. And I know that you love this planet too. You're the one. 113 subscribers. It's like an auction over here. Can we get 112? Can we get 112? 112 left. That's what we're talking about. For Tape Week, I got to get ready. Whew, it's going to come. It's going to happen. I sure appreciate you all. Just remember that you're the one. And you've got the power. You got the power to heal yourself. And we all together have the power to heal anything we choose. Let's start with this beautiful planet. Love your mother. Have a good one, everybody. Catch me tomorrow for Ease, episode 2. Once again, the link is in the description. Woohoo!